Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the East-West Show with the G&E TV. Jack Chow here. At this G&E TV show with the East-West, we pay attention to everything important around us. When we are talking about life, you always want to be reminded there are people who work silently to keep world peace, who call for work peace, who world peace, who work for world peace, and who kind of encourage, and it goes out even to areas to promote world peace. And that is Rotary International, the longest of a human race organization, nonprofit for the global earth. And today, I'm so flattered, so honored to have the incoming elect governor of the 5300 district of Rotary International. Name is Mr. John Chase. Welcome, sir, to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, very good, very good. Every time when I started my intro, I'm in finish, and I invite my guests to do the same thing about yourself, right? And we never ask about your saving account, social security number, or name of a girlfriend. We never do that. And other than that, anything you want to tell us, please?
Yeah. Well, as you indicated, Jack, my name is John Chase, and I'm going to have the distinct honor of being the District 5300 Governor during the 2018-2019 Rotary year, which starts next July. Prior to serving as governor, I've done a lot of things with Rotary. I've been in Rotary since 2001, and I've served as the club president a couple times. I've been active in youth, as well as traveled internationally for Rotary projects. Besides Rotary, I have a family. I have 2 children and a wife of 25 years. And I currently am an insurance broker, so I sell insurance, all kinds of insurance.
I see.
And prior to that, I did 25 years in law enforcement.
Where?
In Boulder City, Nevada, right outside of Las Vegas by the Hoover Dam.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's good. That's good. And I heard that your daughter has just got her first job.
Yeah, she graduated in college in May with a bachelor's degree in kinesiology and community health, and starts in another week with a physical therapy office, and is going to start her career. So we couldn't be more proud of her at this point.
I heard that she got that job all herself alone.
All by herself, yep, she did.
Not with your influence. I know you have a big influence, but not your influence.
Not my influence at all. I had nothing to do with it. It was all on her own, and she did very well.
Very good. That's our next generation. All right. To start the show, though, I have personally, I was 2 years ago given the honor for the previous governor, for Governor Harrell, because of my involvement. I'm not speaking of my credit. I'm speaking using that to indicate how much I know Rotary, how much I myself adore Rotary International. And for that, I've done quite a few shows, and I met with several former governors here on the show, exactly where you're sitting. So once again, I want to touch base with you about Rotary International for your mission and for your vision. These 2 words are so important, and of course later on together we want to put them into the pursuit for world peace, right? So can you give us starting by the mission, please?
Yeah, so Rotary's mission really is world peace and service. Started back in 1905 as a small club in Chicago, Illinois, a group of businessmen meeting to grow their business and to share experiences. From there, it's evolved around the world. And so the things that are really important to me in our mission in Rotary, and specifically District 5300, is certainly service to humanity, service to one another. There's a lack of that. We see the discourse around the world, and so I think what little bit we can do as Rotarians just makes sense and makes it a more peaceful, more enjoyable world to live in. The other thing that's important to me is certainly the family. And I know you and I had a little conversation about the importance of family
yes,
earlier.
Yes,
I mean, that's why we do what we do. We want to make it a better place for our children and for their children, and so on and so forth. So family, service, and peace are really the three cornerstones. Of course, you've got other things that are important: integrity, ethics, doing things with the right sound mind, and decision making are an integral part of the Rotary experience from my perspective.
And what's the size, or by membership, or or by territory? Is the 5300 district?
So 5300 runs from East Los Angeles through Las Vegas to Mesquite, so several hundred miles, and it has 65 Rotary clubs.
1/3 of the United States, what?
Well, not quite 1/3, but it's a chunk.
It's a chunk, right?
And a lot of traveling down I-15 so far in the last year. I've put about 18,000 miles on my truck driving back and forth to Rotary Club meetings in California and Nevada.
I see. And membership, how many members?
We are at about 2,310 right now in our district.
All right. And do you do that on a schedule, a certain schedule basis, or just randomly you want to visit the local clubs?
So as the district governor-elect, I made a promise to myself and to the members that I would visit every one of those clubs once during this year, in this year period. So I am trying to squeeze those in between family and my business that my wife and I run, and I've done about 45 of the clubs thus far. So
I see. I believe my friend Luann Arredondo, she's following your role model, and she told me, oh, by the way, to my audience, she is the we call it incoming? No.
Yeah, so she will be the governor nominee.
Governor nominee for terms after you,
yes,
right?
Yep.
And she's doing the same thing. Every time I call her, she says, I'm on the road driving. I'm on the road driving. I'm traveling. I said, well, how many miles are you traveling? So you guys really do a lot of mileage is traveling. Right?
A lot of mileage. And the other thing we do is we do it all as volunteers. We're not compensated. We're taking away time from our families and from our businesses to do that. Luann has an extreme honor to be the centennial governor for our district as well. So our district will be 100 years old when she serves as governor in 2019, 2020.
All right, okay, very good. That's why she works so hard.
Yes.
Okay, the reason I'm asking, the reason I put the traveling and all the meetings of local club members on personal expenses, that's exactly catch of the eye, right? And last time I was with one member of Rotary member. He went to India to do the local water for food or whatever, same stuff for the extremely poverty areas, stuff like that. And at the very end of the conversation, I was so surprised. And he said, you know what? Everybody puts their own money out of their own pocket, including their airfare, including hotel and other accommodation, everything. And then on top of that, they actually did the job, did the work for moving rocks around for the dam, something like that.
Yeah.
That, to my audience, is I really admire. You want to say something about your knowledge about the Rotary in that aspect, please?
Yeah, it's amazing that we pay money to go do manual labor in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a pretty unique opportunity, and we're glad to be able to do that. You know, fortunately, many of us are in a position where we're able to give back and to our communities and both globally and local. I took my oldest daughter, the one that just started in physical therapy, to India to do some of those exact same things. We flew over in India in 2010 and vaccinated children for the polio virus, and then we also had an amazing cultural exchange with Rotarians for the 10 days we were there. It's a unique perspective that I would encourage any young person to get engaged in if they have the opportunity, as well as their parents. For my daughter and I to share that experience was pretty amazing. My other daughter and I went down to Mexico and built water cisterns. In the community in the Yucatan that we went to, the ladies were walking several miles to get water each morning to provide water for the family. And when we left, 10 days later, they were able to go in their backyard to a 12,000-gallon cistern that would be filled up with rainwater over the rainy seasons and pick the water up there and not have to travel, so they could spend time educating their children and doing some of the other things besides just the arduous task of getting water.
Those are amazing, of course. And the most amazing part is that you are mesmerized by the fact that you guys do it out of your own pocket, right? When human as animal is concerned, right? When you were born a baby, you suck mother milk, right? If any other baby wants the milk, they cry. That's my milk. That's my milk. Got to be mine, right?
Yep.
Okay. So in other words, a human was born with a mind of being selfish. You can't criticize it because we were born that way. My dear friends, my dear audiences, I really want to touch base with you some humanitarianism thing, right? Because we were born selfish. How come there are people in the world fly all over the world with their own money to help others? And by the way, they are not Bill Gates. They're not rich.
No.
All right, let's take a very short moment. Today, with me, at my pleasure, is the incoming governor for the 5300 district of Rotary International, Mr. John Chase. I'm not only touching base with you, I'm kind of digging into his mind. You don't mind, right?
I don't mind.
Very good.
No.
Let's take a short moment now. When we come back, please, we will continue from the baby. Stay with us. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. I may say good morning, good lunch, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever, depending on where you are, right? Here is at the headquarters of West Covina of California is my greeting to everybody of you. Jack Chow with East West with G&E TV. I'm especially honored to be visited by a good friend, an icon kind of friend, the incoming governor for the 5300 district of Rotary International, Mr. John Chase. Sir, welcome again to the show.
Thank you very much.
Very good. I'm so glad that we got a chance to sit down here to touch base with you before you get to the office, right? And before he gets to the office, he's been on the road for 18,000 miles already, visiting the local members, and so far he has done 42 of them. 42.
45.
Oh, 45.
45.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, so that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And talking about that, I was discussing with a friend of mine yesterday, talking about the California gasoline tax, right? The gasoline tax starting this incoming November, we're paying 63 cents more per gallon. When you are traveling out of your own pocket, are you aware that you have 63 cents waiting for you?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't given that a whole lot of thought. I do notice between Las Vegas and California, California does have more expensive gasoline than we do in Las Vegas.
Of course, and the summer blend, right?
Yeah.
Summer blend. And starting in January, you're paying $175 more for your vehicle registration.
In California?
Yeah, in California.
Wow.
So you have to bear that. You have to bear that. To the point. The point is, I've been a little funny with this money thing, but the core issue is that the whole thing is the opposite to what we were born as baby. Like I said, human, every single one of you was born with a selfish mind. It's an instinct almost, instinct, right? That's mine. It's my mother milk and my milk. You don't want to get a drop of it. Something like that. From that to the point, you teach your own daughter to go out to the society. You encourage your own member to work for world peace, to do things beneficial to others. The concept from here to here looks like 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So how you want to vision it, In other words, what is your vision over this, please?
Yeah. So what I did with our children, I had the fortunate opportunity, as I indicated earlier, to work for the police department for nearly 25 years. During that time, I really gained an appreciation for the community and the fact that everything I had as an adult was being paid for by members in the community. Your taxes, your gasoline taxes that you alluded to, property taxes, all that pays for a lot of things, certainly, but police and fire and public safety are a big component of those. So I sought opportunities to give back to my community, and I talked to not only the officers that worked with me, but I talked to my children and my wife, and we had family discussions about the fact that everything we have in our home itself, our cars, our food, was all provided by members of the community in the form of taxes and salary to me. So that's what my children grew up in. That's
It starts with a mind of appreciation.
Yep, absolutely, and gratitude for others and for the community.
Okay.
So that's where, at the simplest level, that's where it became relevant for me that I had to give back to the community, because everything that I had earned was given to me by them.
And next thing, you're talking about reciprocation.
Yep, giving back.
Giving back,
Yeah.
giving back.
Absolutely.
And how this concept is received by the society, by the rest of the folks?
You know, I think it. I can't speak for them certainly, but I know in my family we enjoy the opportunity to give back to the community. We seek out those opportunities, whether it's through Rotary or my wife is active in Girl Scouts, as was I. I was the cookie mom for a number of years for the Girl Scout troop. We sought out opportunities. My youngest daughter now works for Girl Scouts in Reno, and she does community outreach for them in some of their at-risk communities. Something that my wife and I are extremely proud of her for, but we would have never expected her to get engaged with. But it's been nice to watch our children grow up with that sense of gratitude and giving back to the community. Even today, when they're not living in the home anymore, they continue that out, and it's pretty amazing to watch in development.
You started with appreciation, and in return, you started thinking about reciprocation, and then it goes like a wheel.
Yeah.
Is it why it's called Rotary?
Well, the reason it was called Rotary back in 1905 was because of the fact that when the founding fathers of Rotary got together in Chicago, they rotated from office to office to host the meetings. So they rotated and thus became Rotary. And then a few short years later, it became Rotary International when they started expanding abroad.
All right. So of course, back then the word Rotary could be the rotation, and now we can use it as a modifier. We can say, hey, well, so it's a symbol of moving around a positive cycle, something like that, right?
That's exactly right. And what we're seeing now is a lot of the clubs are starting to go back to that original model, and they're rotating between businesses and members, places of work to hold their meetings. It's kind of neat to see that evolution take place.
How many years is your involvement with Rotary when you started?
So I'm in my 17th year of Rotary.
Oh, I see. So
I was about 3 when that occurred, when I joined.
Oh, I see. All right. And you're 20 years old.
About 20.
About 20. Right. At that time, your daughter is 15, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. Very funny. But the thing is that the thing touches me most is the very part that we were talking about, because for a species that everybody was born with a selfish mind, and in the society, education around you, if you go to bookstores, if you turn on TV programs whatsoever, what you see most are those education for you to be rich, and how to get rich, how to compete with your fellow competitors, right? So all around that. And with this as an environment, you see Rotary Club. So that's why every time I see somebody wearing this pin, from my mind, I salute. Yeah, because I know this is a selfless mind of people.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah,
Am I reading your mind right?
Yeah, and I believe you're absolutely right. And they're not Bill Gates by any means.
They're not Bill Gates,
but they are very rich inside, and they are living a life of very fulfilled life as a Rotarian, I think. And the opportunity, you can't measure the satisfaction of immunizing a child for polio or providing clean drinking water to a family that you'll never see again. You just can't put a price tag on those things, and those are amazing opportunities that as Rotarians we've had the opportunity to experience, both locally and abroad. And it's pretty amazing. Even locally, we do so much for our local communities, as you well know, Jack. Whether it's providing shoes for kids at school that don't have the opportunity to go out and purchase one. I was with Covina Rotary yesterday, where we went and toured the United Way, Inland Empire United Way, where they were talking about the food backpacks that they make for the children. There's just so much that Rotary does, and I would implore anybody that has some spare time and wants to get back to the community to reach out to your local Rotary club and ask about membership. I think you'll be very pleased with the results that you get.
I see. Of course, internationally, what you do with India, with Burma, that's a different story, because they need it that much. In the United States, we have a system which is claimed to be number one, right? And yet there are still corners left when you guys kick in, right? The shoes, clothing, food packs, and stuff like that. How do you find it, and how do you feel about doing the job, filling in the gaps of such a beautiful system?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of gaps out there that to the average person that just goes about their business may not even see, Jack. So we have to get engaged with our communities. We have to get to know them. We have to understand what's going on. For the shoes, we talk to our friends in the high school or at the elementary schools and just ask the teachers and the administrators at the school, who do you know in school that could use a new pair of shoes? You know, and if they need a new pair of shoes, they probably need maybe some snacks or some food over the weekend, because if they don't have the ability. We also talk to some of our community food banks and say, hey, do you know of children that come in here, or families with children that might need some extra clothes or some shoes or access to water, or you know, maybe they know of a senior member of our community that their air conditioner broke, that maybe we could help them fix. Whatever the case may be, young and old, at all ends of the spectrum, Rotary's there to lend a helping hand and be a service to humanity.
In other words, not only do you do it, you also encourage people to look for, quote unquote, look for troubles.
Yeah,
right?
look for places need.
Yeah, look for places where there's a trouble, where we can get in. Am I right?
Absolutely, and the beautiful thing is Rotary's not political, and it's not a religious organization.
Of course not.
So we're able to just cross barriers and cross into other areas of the community that would
politics cares nothing about your food. Politics cares nothing about your shoes or clothing or whatever. And politics care about politics. Right? So that is why it's called politics. Right? So I'm talking about the fact that you're looking around for people who might need help. Okay? And it is sure enough, in this society, we have quite a bunch of people. And yes, 2 days ago, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine named Chris Shahinian. He was the former candidate for California Senate. And he says, according to the most critical statistics, that about 1/3 of children go bed hungry every night. So we do have the poverty there. And lucky we Americans, we have our Rotary heroes. If I was once a hero of governor, and they are my heroes, every single one is my hero, because they're the one, in my term, look for troubles to help. Right? To them, I salute from the bottom of my heart. Me, myself, being a proactive for Rotary International, working for this many years, having interviewed so many former governors. Today, I have the incoming governor, John Chase, with me. I feel that I'm going back to school. I'm getting one more education, right? I'm 1 hour richer than before. Right? So let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we're talking about the incoming World Peace Conference. Stay with us, please. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the show. Jack Xiao with East West with G&E TV. Today, I have my special friend, Mr. John Chase, joining me. He is the incoming governor for 5300 District for Rotary International. 5300 District is 5300 District is a big district. It goes as far as way beyond Las Vegas, right? And lots of people out of their own pocket doing the job in the silence to help others. That's what Rotary do. If you want to find it, want to summarize it there with one word, one sentence, right? Okay. Now, not domestically, internationally, you do lots of stuff. Not only helping people with water, with their food, you're doing world conferences on an annual basis, right? So what do we do for this year's World Conference?
So a couple things were really hot topics at the International Convention this year in Atlanta. The big thing that Rotary's starting, well, certainly we've got the End Polio Now campaign. When we started that back in the mid-1980s, there was 1,000 new cases of polio every single day being registered. So far this year,
now it's almost gone, right?
So far this year, we have 9 cases of polio. There was a new case found this last week that bumped it up.
There's
to 9.
almost none.
Almost
we
none.
can almost say almost none, because number 9 versus the whole world is almost nothing.
Went from 350,000 down to 9. But we can't just stop there, Jack. We got to get to that 0.
All right.
We got to get to 0 so it doesn't duplicate and doesn't resurface somewhere else. And I think many of us in the West are kind of immune to the whole concept of polio. Our kids never heard of it. They don't know anybody that's infected with it. And it's kind of a off the grid, so to speak. But the fact of the matter is it's a plane right away. Somebody from Afghanistan could get land at LAX this afternoon and create some problems if they're a polio virus carrier. So we do have to get that down to 0. And Rotary, along with our partners, CDC, World Health Organization, and certainly significant contributions over the last 10 years from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, has helped push us forward. Besides the End Polio Now campaign that we're working hard to try and eradicate, the other issue that really was a highlight at the convention was the issue of human trafficking and moving some of our most vulnerable citizens around the world for sexual exploitation and things of that nature. So I think you'll see Rotary become more engaged in that in the future. We're certainly looking at it throughout District 5300 and having conversations about what we may be able to do. And I think you'll see that become more of an issue in years to come as a point of interest for Rotarians and Rotary districts and Rotary International to get involved in.
What is the south border of 5300 District?
The southernmost border would be, I guess, East Los Angeles.
East Los Angeles, southeast of Los Angeles, right? Okay. And I believe the human trafficking is especially an issue for that area.
Everywhere. I mean, it's an issue everywhere, and certainly, Las Vegas isn't immune. Every community has.
A few weeks ago, we heard about a truck. You remember the truck? About 90-something people in the truck, and 20 dead already, and the rest of them got kind of a brain damage because of a lack of oxygen. One suffocated in the truck, right? Those are just sad stories. So for stop human trafficking, that's a call, right? What do you actually do to the call?
Well, I think some of it's got to be an informational campaign that we got to get people out there, get them aware that it is occurring in our communities, and then we have to develop resources and techniques to try and give people an opportunity to break that cycle and get out of that human trafficking environment. Not an easy task. It's going to require multiple partners well beyond Rotary. You've got law enforcement, community advocacy groups, and things like that. So very complex situation. People enter into human trafficking for a lot of different reasons. Certainly they don't enter in the number one reason they do not enter is for human trafficking. They have no idea that that's the end game for these predators. But we need to come up with techniques so people can identify key indicators of human trafficking so they can avoid that situation in the first place. And we've got to do a better job as communities embracing the family element so people don't feel like they have to go outside the family to look for support mechanisms that these predators look for and attract.
For those individuals who are already trafficked in the country, and sometimes I heard story about rescues, whatever. Are you involved, or have you involved, your organization involved in that kind of thing?
Not in the rescue aspect of it. Certainly from an information standpoint, we're engaged, but you know, that really becomes a law enforcement issue to try and break that cycle.
Of course. But together, it is a big problem. It is a big problem that we're facing. To my audience, I believe human trafficking is it's been a devastating problem that really want to do so, and I'm thankful to Rotary International. They get involved, and not only a slogan, not only a call, but also technically get into something that will help stopping it.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else do you want to call for at the incoming convention, please?
Well, I think those are the two things really that's on Rotary's mind. Other things that are important to us is access to clean drinking water. Absolutely important and a critical issue for a large percentage of the world. Literacy is another one another area that Rotary's involved with. Not just on the international level. We've got folks right in our neighborhoods that have an inability to read and write, and so you see local Rotary clubs trying to address some of those issues through libraries and partnerships. So those are probably four of the biggest issues that Rotary's that I see Rotary working on. The other thing that I think we overlook oftentimes when you get involved in service clubs is the opportunity to grow as an individual. Whatever your passion may be, I think Rotary's got a place for that, and you can develop different things and develop that passion along with your peers in your Rotary club. If it's human trafficking, it might be feeding the homeless, it might be helping elderly folks. I know our club is painted numbers on curbs, so law enforcement and ambulances can find them easily for some of our more vulnerable older folks. So whatever your passion is, if you want to help the older, more senior community, we've got a place for you. If you want to help kids, we've got a place for you. If you want to help develop and coach young entrepreneurs, Rotary's got a place for you through some of the mentorships that's there. So for somebody that wants to give back, Rotary's a nice vehicle to do that.
To get involved, though, do you have to be one of the Rotarians, actually a member, or you can join the activities?
So that's up to each activity in each club. Rotary does a good job of vetting their volunteers. So if you wanted to work with children, for example, you probably wouldn't be able to get too engaged with that without becoming a member of the Rotary Club, going through background investigations and things of that nature. The last thing we want to do is introduce a predator into a situation.
Oh,
so,
yeah, of course.
So we would want them to be members of the club, and we do use outside resources, outside experts, and if you fill that void, we'll absolutely get you engaged and make sure that we do the vetting and get you involved.
Oh, very good, very good. Very concrete, everything very in detail. I admire very much. My dear audience, today with me is my good friend, Mr. John Chase. He is the incoming governor for the 5300 district of Rotary International. Rotary International is one of the oldest, I would say the oldest nonprofit organization, started 1905 all the way to 1905, 112 years already, 112 years.
And our Rotary Foundation, which has been recognized as one of the best nonprofit organizations in the world, just turned 100 this year.
All right. My friend John Chase is the incoming governor, starting his term from 2018 to 19, and my good friend Luann Arredondo gonna be the next incoming governor nominated for 19 to 20. Right?
Yeah, she'll fix anything that I break along the way,
good.
Jack.
Oh, she is wonderful. You never know her. You know her. She is incredibly capable. All right?
Absolutely.
So let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we want to wrap up everything to see a better vision of Rotary International. And we want to even talk about the membership stuff. We want to talk about what you can do, what we can do, what I can do. Stay with us. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow in the discussion about Rotary International with the G&E TV on the East West Show. With me today is my good friend, John Chase. He is the incoming governor for 5300 District of Rotary International. Sir, welcome again to the show.
Thank you.
You never know how excited I am to get a high-ranking officer here of Rotary to talk about Rotary International. It is really an organization that this world need. we need you a lot. Or we want to rephrase it, we don't need you, we need you a lot. Yeah. Like that kind of thing, right? And the last time I was with another member of Rotary, and he told me about you guys going to poor countries to help people there, not only with the water, with the well, but encourage themselves to make the necessary equipment for digging wells, so that when you guys go, they can start their own business or own enterprises, right? And in the meantime, as well as making water, something like that. And I thought about to give a fish or to teach them fishing. You give a fish and teach them fishing, like that kind of thing. Absolutely. So internationally, we really want to call peace. And looking at this world, I know Rotary doesn't get involved with politics. However, politics is heavily involved with the call of world peace. In other words, you want a peace? I don't give you.
Well, certainly you hear them talk a lot about that, but Rotary's out there doing the job and
I
making
know,
that
I
happen.
don't want to push you to talking into politics,
Yep.
but this is my problem.
I think now more than ever, the world needs Rotary. They need Rotarians out there that are doing great for the community, and then we need organizations like yours reporting it and talking about the great things that's going on.
Good.
And we certainly applaud you, and you were recognized a couple of years ago as the governor's hero for that. But what we hear in the media today, much of the mainstream media is negativity, and they're more than willing to report on that. And we need folks and organizations like yours to continue what you're doing and promoting good stuff, good information to the community.
Thank you for recognizing
and being a service.
that.
So.
Years ago, I was recognized as a hero of governor. Until today, this organization is recognized by the incoming governor for 5300 for doing the right job media is supposed to do.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
That is really my headache. Thank you for sharing that with me, because you really hitting the nail on the head. For example, if something happens next block, I'm not there. How do I know that? Through the media. Yeah. Right? If something happens at Charlottesville, am I there? I'm not there. How do I know it? Through the media. It all depends how you do your news, right? I don't want to say I want to cover it. Okay, nothing had happened. No, right? I want to say, as a media, you want to really stand in the middle of the road. That's media. You're talking about negativities, right? How do you want? Really, I really want. You're saying that Jack Chow, working as a media man, trying to be help with the Rotary, and here at my job, I really need Rotary. How do you think Rotary can help me encourage my fellow media to do the right job?
Yeah, I think going back to my law enforcement days, just the facts. We need just the facts. We need the information we need to know to make our families safe, to where we can be knowledgeable of what's going on around us, so we can protect them adequately, and a little less maybe on the editorial aspect of that we're starting to see. But I think it's just opening up your studios like you're doing today, Jack, to allow us the opportunity to come in and share some of the good works of Rotary and to implore people to try and get engaged. There's a lot of great organizations. I've talked a lot about Rotary today as we've went through this program, but you know, there's other organizations as well. You've got for young folks, you've got scouting organizations that are amazing. You've got boys and girls clubs that are a great resource. Many communities have safe places for kids to go after school and before and after school activities. You've certainly got the Lions and the Elks and some of the other organizations that just do good well. The Shriners are amazing. And just getting engaged in your community, become informed about your community, and then seeking opportunities where you can utilize your talents and your treasures to make it a better place.
Yeah, to push it for positivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
To lift up, uplifting for positivity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a story. I got a shiny story. Probably you want to use that for your club meeting or something. There are two neighbors. Their neighbor one has a very nice rooster, a very nice, beautiful, handsome rooster, and that they use as they raise as a pet. One morning, one feather fell from the tail, right? The housewife tells the neighbor B, say, "Oh, one feather fell. What a beautiful feather! Oh my God! All right, what a waste." And then neighbor B tells neighbor C, "Oh, you know what? A's rooster lost a feather." Yeah, and C tells D, "Oh, you know what? You know what? A's rooster lost a feather." And D, E goes on and on and on and on till the very end. Oh my God, the A's rooster lost all the feather. It's kind of oh my, I really worry if he will live, right? And to the very end, the rooster died. All right, you can see from in the process, nobody did it from for a contrary. Everybody add up one word.
Yeah.
By adding one word, you are really helping the whole thing go from A to B, life to death.
Yeah.
So, and I really appreciate the fact that the Rotary helping media calls upon media to do the right job.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yep.
So do you think that you want to make it an address? Oh, I heard my friend Luann Arredondo said that this coming convention, the peace conference, would make it a call. Do you think so?
Yeah, we're going to be having a peace conference, District 5300, under the direction of Governor Regatta Corey this year, is having a peace conference in October to discuss just that, the media's role in peace and conflict resolution. Are they helping it or are they hindering it? Those will be things that we'll be discussing in detail come up October 21st.
Very good. October 21st. Atlanta, Georgia? Atlanta, Georgia?
No, it's in California this year.
Oh, California where?
It's going to be at the Huntington Memorial Library in San Marino on October 21st.
All right, it's not far from me. I can go.
Yep,
I can go. It's a Saturday, right?
It is a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. All right, very good. We thank my audience for watching. We appreciate the help of Rotary International, all their work that they have done to the people, to the kids, to the areas that needed the help, and also to my friend John Chase, the incoming president, governor for 5300 district. And also I would like to express my appreciation to my good friend Luann Arredondo, who is the next incoming governor for the same district. So thank you very much, my audiences, and to you, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.